liked you better with glasses.
Too bad. I like me better without them.
Hey, pretty fans! Welcome to another episode of the Better with Glasses podcast. I am your host, Vicky Pizzalia, and with me is Casey.
Hey.
And we're here for part two of the story we told last time.
Us being in season 3 as extras, episodes 1 and 2, or just one? Episodes 1 and 2, right?
Just episode 2.
Oh, no. Okay, you're right. Just one episode, but we recorded over multiple days.
Yes.
That's what it is. So we're doing that today.
Yeah, they don't know. Oh, I guess they do know that, but we recorded over multiple days, so we're going to talk about the callback.
Yeah, it's going to be lit.
Yeah.
It's going to be wild. Today's going to be a great podcast. I can feel it already. Something's in the air. Vicky, what a great Hey Pretty fans. I think that was your best one ever.
Ever? I don't know.
Because there is a certain je ne sais quoi of the entrance of the show.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And because these mics can get pretty funny sometimes with how we, like, if we come too excited, they go a little bit crazy. And I think that was the perfect entrance.
Thank you.
Yeah, big time. But we've got our coffee mugs here today. Would you like to show off your coffee mug?
My coffee mug is from Seattle. It has the home of the first Starbucks on it. It has the gum wall. It has some crustaceans and fish.
Shout out to Seattle. Love you. Love Seattle. And the Mariners. The Mariners are playing really good right now. So shout out to the Mariners.
It has Conrad's guitar. It has a cruise ship. Maybe not a cruise ship.
You know why there's the guitar?
Why?
Because Seattle is the home of grunge.
Or because Conrad plays the guitar.
But how does Seattle connect to Conrad? Let's see. Okay, but
he's on the West Coast.
5 degrees of separation of the semi term pretty.
Oh gosh.
Seattle. Go. Stumped.
No, I'm not stumped. Okay, so Sleepless in Seattle.
Okay.
Has Meg Ryan in it. And When Harry Met Sally is another one of her famous rom-coms that has Meg Ryan in it.
Yeah.
And When Harry Met Sally is Lola Tung's favorite rom-com. And Lola Tung plays Belly Conklin in The Summer I Turned Pretty. And I nailed it.
Okay. Quick ranking system here.
Yeah.
You've Got Mail, Sleepless in Seattle, When Harry Met Sally.
Do you think you can... I know my ranking.
I think yours would be inverted.
Sleepless in Seattle. Yeah.
So you would probably go When Harry Met Sally, Sleepless in Seattle, You've Got Mail.
1000%.
Yeah, You've Got Mail is my jam.
Yeah.
Big fall in New York vibes. Shout out Tom Hanks, my boy.
I never loved it.
Oh, well,
I never loved it.
Let's not spar here on this episode over You've Got Mail.
I think it's because
it's got bookstores.
No, I understand the point of it, but I also love me a big Barnes and Noble.
I love the Barnes and Noble too.
I'm not always down for shitting on the big conglomerate because I do like the big box stores. I understand the nice little bookstores too, but like that whole thing. And she's very obsessed. She's very obsessed with this idea of crushing the competition, which is endearing in and of itself, but
Fox Books, baby.
Yeah.
My coffee cup, for those who aren't watching on YouTube, says Big Hug Mug. If you know the TV show where this coffee cup is from, let us know in the comments. Okay. So today's part 2 of background action at The Summer I Turned Pretty, part 2.
Yes. And what's exciting about this one, I think, for you, is that the first time we filmed, we were both used on set a lot, but what ended up being on the actual show was a lot of my stuff.
Mm.
And you are also in multiple shots throughout season 3, episode 2, but most of your stuff that got kept was actually filmed on this day.
Right.
Yeah.
So what they did is they sent me a return letter. It was like, hey, we want you to reprise your role as blah blah blah
Doctor.
doctor. I'm like, oh, sick. So I'm like, hon, we get to go back down. And then you reapplied because there was another open spot. And then we go back down for the second time. Little do we know that when we go down there for the second time, the role that they reprised wasn't what I had shot the entire day the first time.
Yeah. Well,
What they reprised was me having to change my clothes at the very last minute and then never getting used. That was the role that they were reprising.
so if you guys recall
Reshoots.
from our last episode, we were there for a day where in the beginning it was Stanford, and then there was a changeover, and they brought in all these other extras for Providence, and we were still hanging there for like a little bit before they released us, but we didn't get used.
And they put us in new clothes.
So we didn't know what they shot necessarily that night, other than the fact that we knew that Steven was in a car accident and it was at that hospital.
Right.
So
that's what I mean. We when I changed into those clothes, that was the roles that we were reprising. So we're coming back down, I don't know, a couple weeks later for this thing. It's another weekend, right?
Yeah.
And what ended up happening was reshooting of some stuff.
Reshooting of Providence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This time on the thing, way more security.
Oh, yeah.
Way more security.
So the first time
A lot of people fucking around with their phones the first time and getting kicked out.
Well, not even just that.
Or we heard a lot of stories about this happening. And it'd be like, hey, you see Lisa that was here for the first couple hours? She's gone. She got caught. She was posting. I'm like, oh shit. All right.
So the first time that we did it, they gave us these like stickers. I shit you not. They're like these little stickers that go over the camera of your phone. That was it.
Second time it was like a bag or some shit, right?
The second time, it was like a full-on like locking system.
Yes.
So you put your phone into a like little bag thing that had a lock at the top of it, and there was security people who were the only people who could unlock your phone.
Yeah, like, please, sir, please, I need to check on my dog. Let me check my phone.
Yeah. And then they would unlock it, and you would get to have it while you were standing next to them if you were on set.
Yeah. So that's how they kept everything big secret.
Yeah. During lunch, they unlocked everybody's phones. Or I mean, if you wanted to. Like there was a huge line
Right.
of people waiting to get their phones unlocked, which I totally understand because that's just we grew up where we didn't have cell phones in school.
Yeah.
And now they allow cell phones in school, which totally makes sense because of sad things, right? Like a lot of the school shootings and things like that
Well,
are part of it.
what are we doing here? I mean,
Like if anything happened, like I remember September 11th, like in today's world, if there was
Got dark.
any like big news or anything like that, or if your parents needed to get a hold of you, like I get it. It was kind of like that. It was like we're gonna respect the fact that people need their phones, but you're not gonna have access to your camera.
right. I mean, how are people taking notes in school? Are they doing phone notes?
No?
Because that would be like, Mrs. Jones, I'm taking notes on my phone today.
That is such a Casey thing to say. Such a Casey thing to say. Pen and paper. I don't know about
What are
laptops.
those?
We have laptops.
Yeah, laptops. Yeah, and like college, that's what we pop, 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 tick, 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 tick.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, way more security. I think I remember a lot of vibes.
Mm-hmm.
The vibes were high.
Do you remember what I got? Like what my role was in that second time we went?
Um, Let me think.
Okay.
Let's say
Yes.
restaurant attendee,
What?
gas station
Okay.
customer.
Are you being funny?
I don't remember.
Okay, but we're at Providence Hospital, so there's only like a couple of things that.
Oh, were you a waiting room person?
So, fun fact, I got called for nurse. When we got there, they didn't realize. So
Too many
they,
nurses.
well, no, they did think that I was reprising. So when I got there, they thought that I was reprising and that I was a nurse, but they couldn't find
Oh yeah.
my nurse thing because we told you guys last time they put these little tags on there and they couldn't find their record of my scrubs. And I was like, I had to explain the whole thing. I was like, well, yeah, you guys had me come back, but I wasn't actually like shooting that night, so I never got dressed as nurse. So you know what they said? They said, "Oh, it's okay. We can probably still use you. Let's use you as patient."
Mm.
So then they dressed me up as a patient. And it was so fun because the clothes that they put me in were like comfy clothes. I got like like these paper thin pajama pants and like a sweatshirt.
Yeah, whenever well, scrubs are pretty comfortable also, so I'm not gonna hate on the scrubs,
Yeah.
but super comfortable. So what I remember is big vibes.
Okay.
Big vibes in the house for the second day of filming. There were tons and tons of people, and it seemed like at this day, way more people were like
In the know.
in the know and willing to like talk about how cool of an opportunity this was.
Yeah. Yeah. This, you got used a lot. You got to see a lot. I hung out and played games a
Yeah, we
lot.
played so many freaking games. It was like we get called out, we come back, and Vicky and the crew would be playing like fucking mahjong or something, and then
But
and then it'd be like, "You guys want to get in?" And we're like, "All right, play some heads up."
yeah.
We didn't have our phones. It wasn't heads up. What was the game we were playing? Was it like
I don't so what was cool about this time is there were like a lot of younger people there who were like used to being extras.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
We had this one guy, I don't know his name, but he's been in season one, been in season two. Remember the mustache guy? So he knew the crew, he knew the PAs,
Mm,
and he knew all these like fun games to play. So
yeah.
like I mean just like get a sheet of paper, write down some stuff, and like we were playing like guessing games and like clue games. I don't know.
It was super fun. There was another dude there who had a speaking part. He got to say one line, and he was they're like, "Is anyone here with real medical experience?"
Oh.
And this gentleman raises his hand. I can't remember his name. I want to say it was like Yuli or something.
Mm-hmm.
Nice guy, and his wife was with him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, anyone with medical experience raises his hand, so he gets to say the line.
I don't think he got a line.
Well, Pizzalia, you're ruining the story. So
Oh.
he gets
See, I didn't get to interact with a lot of
yeah.
the same people you did.
So he gets to say the line, and then it was like something like "looks good, Doc" or something like
Oh,
something
I
like
see.
some shit like that.
Okay.
And then, unfortunately, it got left out.
Okay, okay. Because I was like, I don't remember that.
Well, I think it was so. These are reshoots, right? So he was there on the first day, got called back.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely said the line the first time,
Mm-hmm.
and I think like on the second day, it was like judging by what we're seeing, they might not be using
Maybe they tried some
they might
different
not
stuff.
be using the line that I got to say.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it was dope. We're like, bro,
Yeah.
this guy's the one right here.
I will say though, so that day when we went in, it was the same location that we were in before, and I was so jealous. I was so jealous. And then I got even more jealous. So we get called in. And there's you're right. There's like a lot more. It felt like there were a lot more people all like raring to go.
Yeah.
And they choose three people. And one of those people was Casey.
For what?
It was early in the morning. It was the very first one, and it was like super, super, super secretive. That was the first thing that we shot that day.
Oh, is that what I think it was?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was super secretive. They only brought like three people out there. It was so secret. You didn't see this, but after you guys left,
Yeah.
the PA came back and was like, all right, guys, this is a very, very big scene. We're not going to have we're blocking off this entire hallway, this massive hallway, nowhere near where you guys were shooting. They're
Yeah.
like, we're blocking off this hallway. If you need to use the restrooms, you're not to go down this hallway. You have to go the other way.
Yes.
I was like,
So,
and I was like, what are they filming? And then Casey comes back.
and I spilled the beans.
Yeah.
So, if you would think of a couple of main characters walking down a big set of stairs on their way to go do a very important life achievement that didn't end up happening.
That was that scene.
That was that scene. Yeah.
He came back and he was like, I saw it. And I said, what? And you said Gavin was there.
Yeah. Oh, Gavin was there. Gavin's a man. He was super chill with everyone. I would say he was like way more um like outgoing sweetheart, kind of like how you would be portrayed and you see him in like interviews and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, good dude. So we go outside and there's six of us out there.
And how many of these people are like main actors
So
of the
there's
six?
there's two main principal actors, and there's probably like it's more than six. So it's probably like six extras, two principals, and then way down at the bottom of the stairs, the crew.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And were you inside or outside?
Inside, going outside. So we're trying to create like a day at the hospital where like, hey, you talk to this patient about their whatever,
Mhm.
and you're just a guy with a coffee who's going to see your brother who's having a baby, and you two, maybe you are going for an interview. So there's a lot of like
Crossing?
crossing. So inside to outside, outside to inside. Sometimes they're like, hey, when you get over there, sit down and join your friends at the picnic table. So
Okay. And the principal actors were da-da-da-da.
Lola and Gavin,
Yeah.
what up? They, if you watch the scene,
Yep.
it's been a while, but you can see me,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of the stuff that like you end up doing is off camera. You
Mm-hmm.
don't get to see it, but it was a super fun scene. And I will say that what I saw specifically isn't the one that's in the actual show.
You've teased this before. So
Right.
obviously we're talking about the proposal scene.
Right. So it was like all of the times that we shot it.
They tried it a couple different ways.
Yeah, they tried it a couple different ways, and I think the one that ended up might have been something that they shot like
Yeah.
separately by themselves. Like
We're not gonna spill the beans because Casey was not close enough to hear the actual words being said, right? Like you didn't hear what they were actually saying, or did you?
no, the way that I knew it was the proposal is because it looked
Like
like a proposal,
Yeah,
if you know what I mean,
for one of the takes.
for one of the
Not the take that they
used apparently.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So that's that. What I will say that's really funny when I watched it, because he came back and he told me like kind of how it was shot and the different angles and stuff. Not that continuity is super important
Yes.
for extras, but if you look at that scene, I can only tell because I know and because you're my hun and I know the shape of you. When when they're walking down inside, like the inside staircase, Casey is at the top of the staircase.
Yes.
Funny, it's like he time warps because by the time they're outside, he is walking across the top of the outside stairs. So it's kind of funny because in reality, the
Well,
only way for that to happen is if you followed them down the stairs, but no.
well, I teleported in the first episode from uh no, I teleported also in this episode from the wheelchair scene, which we'll talk about eventually, to the doctor scene,
Yeah. Yeah.
different states.
So we'll tell more about your teleporting, but it's so funny because if that one shot, which is supposed to be one continuous thing for Belly and Jeremiah, there's a Casey at the top of the stairs inside, and then there's a Casey that's walking across the top of the outside stairs when they're like walking down the not I guess concrete stairs.
I didn't even know that.
It's so funny.
So another interesting little tidbit about that specific scene was that two of the people that were included, who I was like, it was me, these two dudes, and one of the PAs were just sitting there talking for a long ass time. They were the two guys. There's a black guy and a white guy, younger, who when you first go to Breaker,
Hmm.
they are like, I think they have desks pretty much. Like they kind of had like a featured spot
Yeah.
like Vicky did, where they're kind of in a main shot
Yeah.
and you're getting a full facial, but they don't say anything. But those are the two Breaker guys, initial
Yeah.
Breaker guys. Yeah. So that was good. That was good. And then a lot of it was more of the hospital stuff, and I remember us having a lot of Lola and Rain scenes.
A lot.
A
Yeah.
lot, a lot of Lola and Rain scenes.
Yeah. So last time we heard about the big sad scene that they had to do, this time we were both on set, um, standing in the back. So if you watch that scene where Taylor and Belly are coming together and it's like, oh my God, is he okay? And then they do like the little blood work conversation, like where
Right.
she has to fill out the paperwork and she starts freaking out because she like is so overwhelmed. That shot is a long shot of a hallway, like a very, very deep, long hallway. So nobody was gonna be seen, really. It's like just blurry shapes at best, but it's a really big hospital hallway. So you have to have a bunch of people running in and out of rooms. So
Right.
that's what we did,
Yeah.
right? Like we were standing, they had just like a ton of extras just like ready to go, standing in the little crossing hallways.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like, yeah, just walk around. Like, you're going to go from this room to this room. You're going to go from this room to this room. You're going to go down the hallway, 3 doors, and then hook a right. Because it needs to look like there's traffic,
Right.
but it's organized traffic. As we're doing this, though, we can hear the full on scene. And it was very, I think Lola said like that hospital scene was one of the harder ones to shoot.
Yeah.
And yeah. And to watch them do multiple takes, like I had so much respect for them because, on those big emotional scenes, like you don't just like go in and nail it. I mean, sometimes you do, but sometimes you just have to like do it over and over and over again, which is like kind of taxing.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I not that I know how to fake cry and I don't know how to fake cry, but like to have to fake cry that many times, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot.
We, I, on this day, I thought I was going to be like third billing on the episode. I'm like, damn, I'm in every scene face forward. Like they might have to put me on the poster. That's how much that I was getting
You
used.
you're getting used so much, yeah.
As it turns out, none of it made it in. Like I'm talking about like scenes super close with Lola Rain, like in a room this size, like I'd be walking across. I'm like, yes, I'm in that.
It was like
Not in it at all. Like
it
when it actually came out.
it was such a long day. It wasn't until like 9 o'clock at night, like towards the end of the day, that I finally got used for a scene where it was super up close, like in front of the camera, like when I was a patient. So what it was when they're sitting on that bench filling out the forms,
Yeah.
you you were like down that hallway. I was on this like tiny hallway where I walk in front of them
Yeah,
and in front of the camera. But they didn't use that angle. If they used that angle, it would have just been like B-roll into the shot, and they
right.
didn't use it. They decided to just use the front-facing camera that is there are no
There
extras.
was so much of that.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just Lola, Rain, the bench, and like a straight-on shot with the wall behind them. So all the extras they used that day or for that part, you're not going to see them.
and this happened like 75% of the time. So it really goes to show you the amount of preparation, time, care that they put into this, like, and extra production.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're setting the scene,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's like it's even not even used half the time,
Right.
but they're going the extra mile to make sure it has the right feel.
Mm-hmm.
And in post production, in editing, that's why it's so important. Like, maybe we do need to, depending on how the story's looking that episode or
Yeah.
how it's feeling, we might need to pivot and make it more full.
Yeah.
So shout out to the Some Right Turn Pretty. They really do go above and beyond
Yeah.
to go for production. So I'm thinking I'm in like every shot, right? And as it turns out, not the case when the episode comes out. But later on in the day, right? Later on in the day, there's like this random dude who is on the crew,
Yeah.
and they want to get him
Show.
in the show. So they come up with this idea to put him in a wheelchair and
Push him.
push him down the thing. And just by the grace of God, I was picked to push this wheelchair as like a complete afterthought. Like, this was, it seemed like something they made up on the spot. And the dude in the chair was a crew member.
Mm-hmm.
So they were like, "Oh, Richie, whatever his name was, like, throw a neck brace on." Like, it was a vibe.
Yeah.
And luckily, that was the scene that I got to have a little bit of like a, a forward facing camera. And without that, without that extra random touch of God to make it happen, I would have been like,
We would have still told you guys where to look. Like you can like all the other shots, like Casey with Caroline, Casey with his clipboard, Casey at the top of the stairs who magically
right.
apparates to the bottom of the stairs. Like all that stuff, like because I know it's you and I'm looking
But
for it, I know it's you. But
if you're living in the house with Med Student One, you need to have wheelchair pusher at the very least to keep up with the Joneses around here.
I gotcha. I gotcha. So in our debrief after that day, we did talk about it, and Casey was like, just like where I was saying, like I was in a scene with Conrad as a medical school student. They would need to cut that entire storyline for me to not get used. Same thing.
I'm like, with
Like
wheelchair, because Vicky didn't know about this wheelchair thing. I'm like, the wheelchair scene, like, just
if they're going to keep something, it is going to be Taylor calling Conrad and the guy who's on the actual crew in the scene. So you're like they have to keep their friend in it.
yeah. And that was like actual. It's not like, I don't want to give myself too much credit here, but I'm like, all right, don't run her over with the wheelchair. Don't go too fast.
Oh, because you
Don't
gotta
go
go
too.
behind.
Yeah, like I'm following with the wheelchair, and I'm like, don't run her over. Like, veer off.
Yeah,
What can I do?
yeah,
I can like say, no cell phones, please.
yeah.
No cell phones in the hallway, please.
So that was very exciting. The other thing that was cool about you getting to see that scene is that I could piece together. Remember in our last episode, I said on our last episode and on the last day that we were there, I got to watch that random scene where Conrad is role playing the lines with like some other person and he's calling. He's on the phone with
You got
someone
to hear the other side of that call.
who tells him the bad news. And I was like, I don't know who he's talking about. I don't know what happened. So now that Casey was like, yeah, I'm in the scene where Rain is on the phone. I'm like, Rain. I was like, oh,
She the phone girl.
I was like, maybe Taylor calls Conrad. And lo and behold, Taylor calls Conrad.
That's a fact. Interesting tidbit. I think.
Oh, wait.
Okay. I got one that's kind of like actually I got two, but they're end of the thing. So you go first before I.
Okay. There were two other exciting things for me. I get excited about like learning plot points,
Yeah.
and then ultimately having to keep them a secret for 1.5 years. Um, so I was in that back room, kind of like holding tank, but at this point, like I'm pretty friendly with like the crew that like comes in and out. So like Jess, who's like the costumer, like she was in there and they had set up monitors.
Mm,
So whatever for whatever reason that day they decided to put monitors in there so that the PAs that are in there can see where they're at and know the timing of things instead of walkie-talkies or whatever. So there's a monitor in there and she's just standing there like in front of the monitor and I looked at her and I was like, "Hey, can I watch?" And she's like, "Yeah, come on up." So I go up and I can't hear any of the dialogue, but I can see through the monitor like what they're shooting. And hun, do you know what they shot?
what?
They shot Belly going up to the vending machine and looking very sad and
I was in that scene.
getting Sour Patch Kids.
Mm,
And I was like, here's the other thing. I watched the prop guy come into our holding tank where they had some props
that's a good thing.
and I watched him pull not a bunch of candy. He came in specifically and pulled Sour Patch Kids. And then when I saw it through the monitor, I'm like, yeah, they used a vending machine that already exists. It's not a prop vending machine. It's a
Right.
vending machine that exists in the place that we shot, but they knew they had to specifically go grab Sour Patch Kids
Right.
to put it in said vending machine because that was what she was going to get. So, for everyone who is like, who's endgame? Are the Sour Patch Kids, are they gonna matter? Is she ever thinking of Conrad? Is Jenny going to give little glimpses of infinity and things like that? But you know how important that small shit is to the fans. And to see again the care that they put into it, like, no, yo, before we do the scene, you got to go grab those Sour Patch Kids. Jenny wants the Sour Patch Kids. Belly has to get the Sour Patch Kids. I'm like that's the detail. You know what I mean? I'm like, I was like on cloud nine. Because earlier in that day, I just heard from my honey that Jeremiah and Belly are in fact engaged. I'm like, okay, maybe we're following the book. But I'm like, okay, Jeremiah and Belly are getting engaged. I'm like, all right. And they're getting engaged at the hospital. And
That was kind of how we felt immediately. Like, bro, what are you doing?
I, to be completely and quite honest, I'm like, this proposal, not to say that they weren't going to be endgame, but I'm like, this proposal has zero legs on it, as in even less than in the book. In the book, he proposes because he feels guilty about the Lacey thing.
Yeah. This one's got a brother on top of it.
Yeah, this one
Brother
is like, we
Rex.
didn't know if the Lacey cheating thing was going to happen. But what I did know is I'm like, is the right time to propose to her in the actual hospital where her brother just got into a car accident? So I was like,
It
ooh,
turns out that it was the right time because
right. And then I thought that
butterfly effect.
we thought that they were using that to showcase that it was a big kind of like messy proposal or like messy situation and that they were going to leave the cheating thing out.
Mm.
But no, Jenny was like, we're going to leave the cheating thing. We're going to leave the fact that they were broken up. And then we're going to add this extra layer of angst to all of it. And I'm like, if that is the case, and that's what was the case, that is why all of us were upset at the first 3 episodes of the season where we're like, what is Belly doing? What is Jeremiah doing? Like, this thing has no legs. How are they going to come back from this? The setup for the wedding, like, nobody's on their side because the situation is messy. But
That
no,
was a good tidbit. That's a good
but
tidbit.
I was so mad. I was so mad. Casey came back and I was like, "Whoa, wait." I was like, "The proposal happened where?" And you're like, "I think it's at the hospital." I'm like, "Are you sure they didn't just like shoot it here for convenience and it's like supposed to be at a cafe or something?" He's like, no, I'm pretty sure it's that hospital because I'm in the scene and I'm in
Right.
scrubs. And I was like, why is he fucking proposing at the hospital, bro? I was in my feelings way back then.
Feeling some kind of way.
I was so upset. I
So
was like, did she say yes? He's like, I don't know. Probably.
the Sour Patch Kids,
Yeah.
I love that note.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot of prop business going on. I wish I got to keep my um card
Wait, I have something
because
else.
I was like, what did it say? It was like Dr. Jenkins. What? Wait,
I
go
have
for it.
something else.
Or go for it.
So I did again, I wasn't in the scenes, but I got to like float around.
Yeah. And
Um,
you'd hear about them because like people come
yeah.
back, talk shit, go
Yeah.
out, talk shit.
They had me lined up to do a scene, but they were doing some blocking or whatever. And uh Rain was on the couches out there and she was on the phone and I think she was on the phone with Chris Briney because I think that and I didn't know why until you told me about the wheelchair scene, but I could hear her being like, "Yo, what are you doing? Like, are you ready?" And then she was talking about like how long the day was and how it was going, and she said something like some obscure amount of time until like they were gonna do it. So I think maybe that when she does that scene, she is actually calling him and he's doing the
Yeah,
Conrad part of
I
it
would hope so.
back to her.
I would definitely hope so because that would make it way easier.
Yeah, it makes it way
Way
easier.
easier.
Yeah. But
Uh,
isn't that cool? Because I was like, who is she talking to? And again, I didn't know who she was talking to, but it felt like she was talking to another actor on the show. And then when you told me about the wheelchair scene, I was like,
bam.
yo, she was talking to Chris. And this
So
is like at 10 o'clock at night. So they must have planned for him to like pick up the phone
like,
and like do the scene with her.
yeah, make sure you're available.
Yeah. That's so cool. Isn't that cool?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the end of the day comes, and it was just after we had shot something, and I don't know who it was for. So this is a good piece of information without the specificity that I would like. But the whole crew gathered around at the end of the shooting spot and gave a big round of applause and congratulations
Mm-hmm.
to someone. Okay. It might have been the director.
Yeah.
And I went out thinking it was Rain, but
Yeah.
it didn't really add
It was
up.
so early in
But it was
everything.
a location wrap. It was like, all right, that's a location wrap for blah 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 blah, and it was like pandemonium, like,
Hmm.
and it was a weekend. And we're like, we're gonna go out and it's on. And it was like, it's a location wrap, blah 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 blah, big
Hmm.
uh applause, and then everyone just started getting the heck out of there.
Yeah. It
So
must have been crew. It must have been crew or director.
yeah, but so that was another
Because
interesting
we know like that day it was Rain, Gavin, and Lola. Like they definitely didn't wrap that early.
location wrap,
They didn't location like the location is Wilmington.
but the location could have been like hospital.
Nobody cares. No, because that's not like a location in the real world wrap. That's a location in the show wrap. They wouldn't congratulate a location. That'd be like at the end of each like, and we're wrapped on this
You know
cafe.
what it is? I think I am right. I think what they're doing, because there was, remember all the consultants that were there from the building? So
Yeah,
they knew where everything was.
yeah.
Maybe it was like, hey, thank you for letting us use this building. It's a location wrap.
Yeah, thank you.
We're finishing. We're not coming back. This is our final time here. Thank you for your graciousness in hosting us.
Oh, okay,
That
maybe.
could be it.
Maybe.
So that would make sense. But it was cool. I'm like, yeah, thank you guys.
Um,
And that was it. Then we're like out the door, hopping in the vans, getting on back to the base camp, which was back in order.
mhm.
Yep, didn't blow away this time. And it was late.
It was
It
late.
was late.
Was that when we went to watch the fight and we went, it was. We went to watch the fight and we went to
Yes,
like
but
the
before that,
premieres there.
our friend was there.
Yes,
Yeah,
Jen. Okay.
yes,
So towards the end of the night, you turn in all of your stuff and you have to line up and check out.
right.
And then It was a very late night, and we were all walking out of the door, and I somebody talks to me. Her name is Jen, and she talks to me, and she's like,
Are you?
do you guys do the podcast? Or like she whispered something like that, and I was like, yeah. And she said, I recognized your voices when you were talking.
I was listening to you on the way
So,
here.
well, because we didn't interact when we were in that room because she was sitting towards like the back and we were
Right.
sitting towards the front. But I guess when we were talking to each other, she's like, "Wait, is that them?
Those voices sound
It's
familiar.
those voices." And yeah, and we were trying to be quiet about it because we were still in the extras thing. So we're like, yeah. Um, and then other people are like, "Wait, what are you talking about?" And
Right.
I'm like, we run a podcast about the show.
Like what?
But I was like, shh,
Right, right,
Like,
right.
I literally was like, we're not here for that. We're here because I am a fan of the show and I wanted to be an extra on the show. Um,
Who doesn't
like
want to
like anyone
get
else.
their acting chops off?
Yeah, like anyone else, right? So then um after we're in the vans, we clear out, we're back at base camp, and then we're back at our cars, like in the parking lot where the extras parked. Um, we took a picture with her.
Yeah. Love you, Jen.
Yeah, it was so fun. And that was the first time we ever met a pretty in the public.
Pretty in the wild.
A pretty in the wild.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
It was pretty magical.
it was. And then we went to Hooters.
Yeah.
Man, kind of hungry now.
I'm
I
starving.
need to refill my coffee.
Yeah.
This has been a fun episode.
Can
This was the second day, but there was also a third day
okay.
for one of us.
All right. I'm gonna go fast, but there's a story behind this. Because it was a wild
And
experience.
I'll tell you my side of it.
Okay. At this point, we had bought our condo in Carolina Beach.
Yep.
It was very exciting. We had gone there, moved in. I was staying there a couple of extra days. Casey had to get back to work, but I can work remotely. So I was staying there a couple of days just to like organize like the internet and make sure the cable worked and like having like the people come in before we put it up on Airbnb and all this stuff. So I was there doing a lot of those logistical things. Um, while I was there, I smashed the side of my car into the side of the condo
Right.
because I wasn't used to the beams that were jutting out because in Carolina Beach or at the beach in general, when you have a place on the beach, it's on stilts.
Yes.
So, I'm pretty good at watching for curbs and things, but I wasn't thinking like, oh, there's like a bar there because it's on stilts, and I ran the side of my car into it.
And this particular parking spot is like
It's very tight.
the smallest parking spot known to man.
Yeah.
It's more for a golf cart than a car, but
That's true, and yes. So, lo and behold, all that really means is that I have to put my car in the shop. And I put my car in the shop in Wilmington, North Carolina, and got a rental and drove it home. And then it was like maybe 2 weeks later that it was fixed, and Casey graciously drove me down so that we would have two cars. I could get my car, and that was that. All right. So, this time we had no intention of being extras. We were literally just going to get the car.
okay.
And we spent like maybe like a day or two down there. So, Casey tries the best that he can, but the car isn't ready. The car was supposed to be ready for pickup on a very specific day, and it was not. And they kept delaying it. So Casey had to go home.
Mm.
So I extend my stay at the hotel in Wilmington. Casey's already gone home with the dogs.
Yes.
And I'm like, when is my car going to be ready? Okay. I get the message that my car is ready. And I'd kind of like planned for it because I had a feeling it was going to be that day. And so I didn't buy an extra night at the hotel. I
Yeah.
just did like extended or late checkout. So I didn't have like any work meetings or anything at this point. So I'm like, all right, great. My car is done. I'm going to get my car. I'm in the Uber
Yes.
to the Caliber collision where I'm going to pick up my car.
Yes.
While I am there, they send out, because when you've been extras, they have your information.
Right.
This time I did not apply.
Sometimes it's like an emergency, like need you right now.
They sent out it's called a rush call.
Right.
They sent out a rush call for anyone between this age and this age, blah, 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 who can come to the location. Like within the next 15 minutes come to the location.
Right.
And I'm in an Uber. And I'm like, what the hell? I get to my car.
Mhm.
I call Casey because I didn't call you in the Uber. And I was like, do I do it? Like,
And the answer for me was obviously because meanwhile, for these last 2 weeks, it was a daily conversation. Vicky needed to scratch the itch of going back one more time. It had to happen. It was like you needed it more than anything in the world.
No, yes, you're right.
Yeah, you did.
No, you're right. But what I was really I was waiting for was I wanted
The Conrad
to be,
wedding.
I wanted to be in the Conrad wedding.
That's true. That is true also.
And as you guys know, there is no Conrad wedding in season 3.
Right.
But both me and Caroline were like, I want to be in the wedding.
I mean, you're a shoo-in. Remember that?
I would be on the
Remember all
side.
the Asian guy?
I would be on the park side.
Right.
You know? Like I'd be there with the Asians.
Right. Like we're shoo-ins.
Yeah, right? Like anyway, so that was the running joke, but you're absolutely
That
right.
was the thing. It was like, hey, I can move this around and do that. And I'm like, and this was the perfect opportunity. So I'm like, you got to do that.
Because I also didn't have work obligations. I was literally picking up my car and about to start a 5.5 hour drive. So in my mind, I'm like,
You just bump that drive back.
yeah, I can start this 5.5 hour drive whenever I want. So I email back immediately. They email me back immediately. And they're like, where are you? As in, like, where are you? How fast can you get to wherever?
Right.
And I thought they were like checking to see if I was local. So I said, like, I'm in Carolina Beach, but right now I just happen to be at, and I said some location towards Wilmington because that's where I was picking up my car. And she's like, okay, yes, we need you. Come on down, park here, check in, and we'll get going. I'm like, all right.
About to be on the poster.
Okay. So I get my car, sign off for it, and then I go straight to the new base camp location, which is like a high school. So I get there and they check me in. They're like, oh, you're one of the rush people. Great. And then I get sent to wardrobe. Mind you, it's a break for everyone else. So they're like on this big break, and what they told me to dress for was tiki bar.
Mm.
And I'm thinking like, oh, it's like a fun party scene.
Right.
Like, oh, tiki bar, fun, great. I'm there, and then there's only one other girl who's there. Because when you do a rush thing like that, you're not really going to get a lot of people, presumably. So it was me and this other girl. And we are there in wardrobe maybe for like an entire hour.
Okay.
Because it was rushed, and so I didn't have time to bring any of my own clothes. So they're like fitting us for clothing and stuff like that. And it's kind of weird because when I heard tiki bar, I thought I was going to be in like jean shorts and a tank top.
Okay.
But no, they put me in like something a little bit more formal than that. Like it was like a glittery blue halter top, maybe not glittery, but shiny, and like a short black skirt and heels. And I'm like, is this a tiki bar? And saw Kevin again. Kevin was super cool. He was like, man, you got tan. Like, as in he remembered me at that point. He's like, hey, you're back. Thanks for coming for the rush. So then we get put in where the other holding tank is.
Okay.
This time, hun, the holding tank was completely different from anything you and I experienced. Me and this other girl walk in, and it's like 10, maybe 5% male, 95% female. And when I say I walk into this room, and there are maybe 100 people.
Dang.
100 people, and again, like maybe like 90-10 split female to male.
Wow.
I'm like, what the fuck? And then other people had been there all day, and we were just like, oh, what are we filming today?
Yeah.
And they're like, a bachelorette party.
Uh-huh.
And I was like,
Younger ladies.
oh, younger ladies.
Yeah.
So what they tell me is that they've been moving around to different locations. And I was like, oh. So they picked up on the idea that like it's like bar hopping.
Right.
So you need all these extras. You don't need 100 people for one bar, but you do need to establish that if we're bar hopping across four different
Different.
bars,
Yeah, right,
you
right.
need different people there.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So they take us to this like tiki bar that does not exist in I'm sorry, in Wilmington, North Carolina anymore. But it's like the coolest bar. If you listen to one of our past episodes, we talk about it.
It
It's
was
like
designed by like Disney people.
Disney people.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's like really cool, and it is a tiki bar in and of itself, but the scene is not tiki. The scene is Belly's bachelorette party.
Yes, this place is like Legends of the Hidden Temple.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So we're sitting there, and I'm thinking we're not going to get used because I'm like, literally, me and her are like, why did we come?
We've seen this before also.
you
This is something that's
you have hundreds upon hundreds of people. I'm like, okay, well, we're just going to sit here,
right.
and we didn't get called, like we didn't get there in time from hair and stuff, and like so we missed out on one scene. Like we got there as they were all going out, and I'm like, man, what are we doing? What I do, you know? So we're sitting there, and then they come in, and I hear them say like, we need new people for this one. And I didn't really know why they needed new people. So when all those people finally came back,
Hmm.
one of the guys was like, yeah, something happened to the girl. Like they were on the dance floor and like something happened to the girl and she got sick or something.
Like, whoa.
Guys, as we now know, yeah, she had taken gummies
Yep.
and she had just found out that the old love of her life just got her mom
To come
to
to
come to her wedding. And yes, she didn't quote unquote feel well, but she was having a Bonrad.
she's spinning out over
She
Bonrad.
she just gotten done having a Bonrad Ariana Grande We Can't Be Friends montage in her head.
Yeah.
But innocently, this guy who doesn't know the show, he's like,
Right.
yeah, the main actor, like she was at the club and she like doesn't feel well.
Mm,
End scene. And I'm like, I was like,
okay.
I was like, okay. I'm like, all right. Last time I was here, her brother was in the hospital, so I wonder what's happening to
Right,
Belly.
shit.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. So I find out what's happening to Belly. This was the key to all of my happiness waiting for season 3. Not that I don't love Jer, but they're like, we need new faces because it's a close-up shot. And I'm like, so now all of a sudden I'm beaming.
Now you're like
Number
raising your
one,
hand.
yeah, number one close-up shot. Number two, new faces. And no, but Kevin knew me and
Right.
he knew this other girl. She didn't even reply to the casting agency. Like
She just pulled up.
I think a PA like called her and was like, "Yo, where are you?"
Right.
So, interestingly, there's no other decision. They're like, "Oh, we're going to use the two people who took time out of their day to come here and have been sitting here for 2 hours. So, we're going to use them."
Damn.
So I got cut from the scene. I don't even care. Where they placed me was right in front of that bathroom door.
So you got to hear it all.
So they cut the walking in part, they cut the walking out part, but they shot it. So I was standing there with my little like tiki cup, and it's when Lola and Rain, it's when Belly's not feeling well. They pull her off the dance floor, and Taylor's like, "Hey, what's wrong? What's wrong? Let's go in here." And then they go into the bathroom. But because I'm standing on the outside of the bathroom, and they shoot all kinds of shots just in case, we got to hear the entire scene because they kept the camera rolling because they wanted a shot of them walking back out too. So it's like in, out. I'm not obviously in the bathroom, but I am right at the door where they're having the talk in the bathroom. So I didn't hear the entirety of the scene. The part that I did hear was, No, no, no. I didn't picture any of this. Not the wedding or the flowers. All I ever pictured was Conrad. That was the only thing I heard. I didn't hear the he got me my mom. I didn't hear the he got me the big unicorn. I didn't hear the Christmas. Oh, I did hear the Christmas part.
Yeah, you did.
I did hear the part where Taylor says, like, what do you mean you haven't seen him in years? And she's like, no, no, I saw him at Christmas. And I heard the part where she says, um, what? Why didn't you tell me? Like, why did you lie? And she's like, I don't know.
So,
So because I got to hear the shit hitting the fan for Belly moment, I was like, I don't know how we're gonna get there in season
but
three,
we're getting there.
but I knew that whatever Conrad and Belly's interactions were going to be leading up to this part was going to be enough. I didn't know about Peaches. I certainly didn't know about Surf Cut. I could have imagined because of the books.
Right.
I didn't, Michael's dirt bombs was not in the book at all, but I knew that in order for her to have this meltdown, whatever those small moments were going to add up to very big moments for our girl Belly.
Oh,
And I was like, ooh, that triangle is still in existence.
it was meant to be. It was the perfect time for you to go back for
And I told
one more taste.
I only told Casey. I just kept that little nugget. I mean, obviously, yeah.
It all worked out perfectly because you got to have that and you got to scratch the last itch, and it was everything that you needed as you waited for the season to come out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was such a good
I don't even care that I'm not in that scene because I was there to hear it, and it was a big another emotional scene. Um yeah, but it did give me a little bit of insight.
hell yeah.
Yeah. Um
So those were the three behind the scenes experiences that we had. Some of the best days ever, for sure. Long days, but some of the best days. And that crew is
top notch.
legendary, top notch. Love them all.
Yeah.
And the people that we met, there was no jerks in the bunch. So
Yeah, it was great. The surreal part of it is that it is our my favorite show and all that. But if you ever have a chance to go be an extra on something, like if you're interested in it at all, like seeing behind the scenes, the production side of it, like I would say try it if you have the ability to.
right.
Because yeah, being on a set is pretty cool. I got to do it one other time. I think I told you guys for One Tree Hill, and that was pretty cool. For a long time, I was using that as my little known fact. It's like, oh, I'm on One Tree Hill. So.
At Better Classes Pod on
Wait,
Instagram.
wait, can I do something else?
Sure.
Uh, I will say that I heard rumblings when I was there that day. I heard rumblings about Paris.
Yes.
I just didn't believe them. Like it was like another random extra that was like, no, like that guy said that they're gonna be done here soon. He was basically bitching about the fact that he just found out that they were filming this,
Right.
and he was like trying to be an extra again, and like this is what he does.
Right.
Like he's a guy who like loves movies and TV and like wants to be an extra a lot. And he's like, yeah, and then I freaking found out that they're like rapping. And in my mind, I'm like, they're rapping already? He's like, I don't know, they're going to Paris or something. And I was like, number one, this guy's just like a little emotional, and I'm like, they're going to Paris. This is during the time when Simone Biles and the Paris Olympics are happening, and I'm like, they ain't going to Paris. Like, what? They're not going to Paris. And then, lo and behold,
They went to Paris.
they went to Paris.
You're probably thinking Spain still.
I was saying, the only thing that made Paris make sense to me was I was like, oh, maybe they swap out Spain for Paris because of Belly. Very clearly in the show, Belly studies and speaks French. So it totally made sense.
At Better Classes Pod on Instagram. Vicky's holding that down. betterclassespod@gmail.com for any of your bigger questions, comments. Thank you to all of the Patreon subscribers. We'll be having another scene talk or a little episode coming out this weekend.
Yeah, if you're a member of Patreon at this point, We can always pop in and do a scene talk from any season at this point, and like some emergency bonus episodes and things like that are gonna go up on there.
Yeah, but we're still doing the regular show weekly. So thank you to everyone out there for riding with us. We got a lot of fun stuff still planned. So appreciate everyone listening. If you love the show, leave a rating, all that good stuff. Really appreciate you guys.
Thanks everyone for listening, and we'll see you next time.